Hello everyone, my name is Annie Nguyen and these are my thoughts on this week's topic. In principle, I believe that corporate leaders have a responsibility to look beyond just their shareholder. As the readings point out, focusing purely on shareholders ignores the negative externalities of their actions, such as causing pollution to be cleaned up by the government or left to factors, impacting the lives of people in surrounding area. This also applies to employees, whereby the company should provide living wages and healthcare. If they chose not to, this cost is again carried by society at large. A direct example of this was the high number of full-time Walmart employees collecting welfare benefits while corporate profits soared. At the end of the day, Walmart shoppers were being subsidized on their low price by the government, picking up the remaining wages for employees. Absent this, the company would have had to raise wages, which would result in lower profits or higher consumer price. However, it was not just Walmart shoppers impacted by this, as the welfare support is based out of the general taxes. Every taxpayer were responsible for this cost, which goes against basic fairness. In practice, I believe this decision is much more complex. Inherent the term stakeholders is the need to apply a relative weighting among different groups to determine the optimal balance. In this way, corporate leaders are placed in a position of picking winners and losers. As the written points out, this is not their area of expertise. This was Freeman's key argument. He argues that CEOs are spending other people's money on projects they are not trained to manage. Further, if we assume the business generates positive utility for society, shifting too much focus away from shareholders may mean that capital is no longer available, and the business may stop operating, destroying all the value it once created. Ultimately, this positive utility may be a larger benefit for society, even if the rewards are unevenly distributed. In many ways, this suggests that the goal should be increasing the size of the pie rather than fighting over how two existing pies is divided. The only way this to happen is if shareholders are willing to invest and take risks, and they will only do so if the risk-reward balance is justified. Third, I think we are at an impasse between doing what seems right in principle and what is possible in practice without impairing the free market. I believe the current research is more mixed and nuanced on initiatives like DEI actually generates shareholder value. This creates a concern as it was easier to advocate for this initiative when it was accepted as fact that they deliver superior profits for shareholders, and the positive externalities were just icing on the cake. However, if this is not the case, we are back to justifying them based solely on externalities, and that means prioritizing various social initiatives, an area in which corporations lack appetite. As such, I do not believe corporations acting on their own is the best way to implement these initiatives. I believe this responsibility is best left to the government, as enabled by public voting rather than companies taking initiative on their own. This approach allows corporations to focus on their core missions rather than trying to drive societal change. Our goal should be a free market system where companies focus on creating values while the voting public define the rules of fairness. In closing, I found this topic to be very interesting and it made me think very deeply about these subjects. I look forward to hearing the views from other classmates. Thank you.